All right, so I have spent many long nights trying to build the ultimate smart home voice assistant, and I think I've gotten pretty far. I've put voice assistants in the ceiling of all the rooms of my home, and whenever she speaks, her voice comes out of the in-ceiling speakers, which is actually pretty cool. The problem is that that solution is powered by Amazon, and there's some privacy concerns there. You could use Apple, you could use Google, but the privacy concerns still remain. So until recently, there has not really been a good solution to replace those big tech companies. Home Assistant, however, came out with their Assist pipeline, and we're going to set that up today. But what you'll quickly realize is that there are some limitations to that tooling. You have to go in and program it. You have to teach it how to control your smart home, and it doesn't really have access to human knowledge, and it can't set timers, and I know they're working on that stuff, but it's going to take a long time to get there.
I want one. I want a golden goose.
Now, you could also hook up Home Assistant's Assist pipeline to ChatGPT. The problem is that integration only allows you to chat with the AI. It can't actually control your home.
No, I want one of those.
And that's exactly what we're going to build today. We are going to connect OpenAI's ChatGPT to Home Assistant so that it can control your smart home in really magical ways. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're saying, why would I hook up my hyperlocal, privacy-centric smart home to a artificial intelligence that's in the cloud somewhere?
That's stupid. Use your common sense.
Well, the good news is you could build your own local LLM in your home. I'm really excited. After we talk about the software, we're going to go into the hardware. And that's taking these things, these are the Wyoming satellites by Home Assistant, and putting these in the ceilings and replacing Amazon entirely. I'm going to be able to call out to it by saying, hey, Alfred, and it's going to do amazing stuff. Super cool. This is clearly the future, major breakthrough. Let's build it together. All right, so here we are in my Home Assistant. And if I click on Assist up here in the top right-hand corner, you can see I have two pipelines. One is called FastGPT, which uses a OpenAI integration, custom integration built by a brilliant software engineer who I'll be sure and link to below. And then it also uses Nabucasa's cloud-based speech-to-text and text-to-speech. And then I have SlowGPT, which does all that stuff locally without even an internet connection. All right, so if I say, what time is it? You'll see that the OpenAI LLM actually knows my current time. What is the current weather? So you can see it actually knows the weather as well. And this is amazing because I'm just feeding OpenAI raw information, like a timestamp and raw JSON about the weather. And it's able to respond with human readable responses here, which is just amazing. Then I can ask things like, how many lights do I have installed in my home? 38 lights. And let's do, who is home right now? Who is home right now? And I'll make some typos. We'll see what happens. So there you go, right? The following individuals are currently in home. Olia's in the master bedroom. Brad is at the media room. This is just really amazing, right? ChatGPT is looking at my presence sensors where it's tracking my watches, and it's just aggregating that information and telling me which people are in which rooms. Let's see, another example is the front door locked? Is currently unlocked. So I'll just say, please lock it. And there you go. The front door is locked.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Let's do some like general knowledge examples. Who is Bruce Wayne? Right? It's a fictional character, Batman, just really like things like how many cups are in an ounce?
Strike that. Reverse it. This way, please.
Right? Things you would scream at your voice assistant, for example. Here, I'll actually use my voice, right? Set the media room mood lighting to green.
The media room mood lighting has been set to green.
So you can see it set to green back there now. Set the media room mood lighting to purple and turn on the media room fans and open the garage door.
The media room
All
mood
right.
lighting has been set to
So
purple. The
purple,
media room fans have been turned on,
the
and the
fans are
garage
on.
door has been opened.
And if I close this and I look down, yeah, you can see my garage door is open now.
Nice.
That's an example of just stringing together a bunch of commands and OpenAI just parsing all that out and then issuing 3 different commands to the server to cause those things to happen. Just extremely impressive that it can do this type of stuff right out of the box. Where is my home theater remote? REMOTE. If you need assistance in finding it, feel free to ask. I need assistance to find the remote. Please ping it. And here it is, right? So it knows, let me make that stop. So it knows in this case that it went to settings, scripts, find home theater remote. So it actually executed this script, which is just, again, like, it's just amazing that it can do this stuff out of the box. Where is my car? And like if the car is moving and its GPS coordinates have changed, it'll actually tell me like how many miles away the car is from the home. It actually told me the other day, I said, "Where's my wife?" And it knew that my wife was in the car because her presence sensor detected her in the car. And it responded by telling me that she was 14 miles away. I mean, like, I'm not coding that stuff. The AI is just doing this. All right, so let's go and install the FastGPT pipeline from scratch together. So go to settings in your home assistant. Then we're going to go to voice assistants down here. And we're going to click add assistant. And we're going to call this demo FastGPT. Leave mainly everything at default. So English is fine. Conversation agent. You will not have this choice, which is called extended OpenAI conversation. So we need to go install that. But before we do, I'm going to go ahead and create this pipeline. So we'll just use Home Assistant for the moment. English is fine. Home Assistant Cloud, which is default. Also American English is fine. Text to speech, we'll say Home Assistant Cloud, but we're going to do British English. And we'll set this to Ryan Neural. I really like his voice. You may not have a wake word choice down here because you haven't installed the integration yet. That's okay. I'm going to go ahead and just say my wake word is okay, Nabu. Okay, we'll talk about how to install wake word in just a moment. So we click create. Now, this is a pretty dumb pipeline, right? It's not using the OpenAI integration. So like, for example, if I go and use this pipeline and I select demo FastGPT and I say, what time is it? Yeah, it's just not going to know, right? The default Home Assistant conversation agent just isn't that intelligent yet. If you go over to this guy's repository, I'll pronounce it Jekyllman. Dude, you are brilliant. This is an amazing project. Please continue doing what you're doing. So guys, you want to follow his steps here. So you'll go to hacks, you'll install his repo. So I'm going to copy the URL to his GitHub repo up here. And back in Home Assistant, I'll go to hacks. If you don't have hacks installed, just Google how to install HACS hacks in Home Assistant, and you'll find plenty of tutorials on how to do this. I'm going to go to integrations, and then on these 3 dots in the top right hand corner, I'm going to say custom repositories. And I would paste in his repository, and I would say this is an integration, and then click add. After you do that, you're going to see that it pops up here as a custom repository now, right? So I will not add it again. Okay, so at that point, you'll need to restart your Home Assistant, and then we're going to go to Settings, Devices, and Services, and we're going to add that integration in, right? So we go to Settings again, and Devices, and then we click Add Integration, and we're going to say Open AI conversation. Here it is, extended OpenAI conversation. So you click it and you're going to give it a name. So you might just want to call it OpenAI or ChatGPT, whatever you find best. And you need to get an API key. All right. So to get your API key, you're going to go to platform.openai.com/API keys. You need to have an account with OpenAI to get this far. So make sure you create an account at openai.com. And then you're going to click create new secret key, give it a name like home assistant, and then we'll say create. And it will give you this key, copy it, and go right back into home assistant and paste that key in here. All right, click submit. There you go. Now, if you go down to your extended OpenAI conversation, you'll see that you have your new ChatGPT configuration has been set up. All right, so let's go into this default configuration, and you'll see that the prompt states you are a smart home manager for Home Assistant. I will provide you with information about the smart home along with a question. You will act truthfully and respond succinctly. And then it passes in the current time. And then it has this right here, which essentially iterates through your exposed entities in Home Assistant. And by exposed entities, I mean, if you go to any entity in your Home Assistant, like I'll go to my garage door, and then I'll go to settings, and there's voice assistants here. So you can see I've exposed this particular entity to assist. You have to do that. If the device is not exposed, then it will not be visible to ChatGPT. And you can also add aliases here. So if you have a entity whose name is not really human readable, you might want to create some convenient aliases here. All right. So here it is iterating through all the entities you've exposed to assist. And then it's basically pumping in a CSV. So the entity ID, the entity name, the entity state, and then all of the aliases. Then it provides some rules here at the bottom. Use the execute services function only for requested action. And the execute services function you can see is down here below. This is using OpenAI's function call capability. You can actually go read about it, just do some Googling. But what you can do is you can train ChatGPT to execute that function, right? So just like we're feeding ChatGPT weather information or date time information or the state of a door, you can also feed it a function and then execute that function later. And the other thing I want to point out is that I have a slightly modified version of this prompt. And I'm using a different model. He's using GPT 3.5 Turbo. So let's go to mine real quick, and I'll share this in the comments. Some key differences are I'm telling him that you have all the knowledge in the universe. I don't want you to just be a smart home assistant. I want you to also be like the world's most knowledgeable butler, basically. So it's a dual purpose prompt. The other thing I'm doing is like trying to help it better answer key questions like how many devices I have and handling specific states and reading out dates in human readable formats and things like that. So I'll copy this prompt below. The other key difference is I'm using GPT 3.5 Turbo 1106. You will probably have complex interactions with ChatGPT. And if you don't use -1106, you might get some weird errors. So just add on the -1106. All the other settings, you can keep it his default. And we're going to go back to our voice pipeline that we built earlier. Remember, we called it demo FastGPT. And in there, you're now going to have a choice of, remember, you named it ChatGPT. And by the way, you can click this little cog icon and you can quickly get in to edit your prompt and change settings. Now we're going to go back to the dashboard. So I can say, what time is it? And you'll see it responded with like a weird timestamp. And that's, again, copy paste my prompt. It solves this problem. There you go. And so, you can ask things like set the media room mood lights to green. and it should work. There you go. His integration is just magical. Major props to Jekyllman. You're a brilliant dude. Thanks for this project. That is how you build your own FastGPT. Now let's talk about how I built SlowGPT using my own open wake word, my own Piper, and my own Whisper. So in simple terms here, wake word is when you say, hey Google or hey Siri. Piper is your text-to-speech, so it enables your voice assistant or your computer to speak out loud to read the response to you. You have to install these entities. So let's go and do that now, and then we'll build the SlowGPT pipeline, and we'll run everything locally. All right, so head on over to Settings and then Add-ons, and you'll go to the add-on store, and you'll search up here for, let's start with Whisper. So speech to text, and we'll go ahead and install that. Start on boot is good. We'll turn on Watchdog, and we'll even turn on auto update. I'll go to configuration. TinyInt8 is great. I'll stick with that for now. We'll basically leave everything at default here. Now let's also go and install Piper, and we'll install that. Again, I'll turn on Watchdog, so if it crashes, it reboots, and auto update. Let's go to configuration again, and I'm going to set this to Lessic low. I just found that to be just a little bit quicker, like it was worth it. Everything else I'm going to leave at default. Click save. I'm going to restart Piper. We're going to go back. Don't forget, you got to go back to Whisper. I'm going to start Whisper too. So last add-on to include is Open Wake Word, and we'll go ahead and install that. Okay, and take a quick look at configuration. Again, I'll leave everything at default. Let's go ahead and start. Now that you've installed all those add-ons, you can go to integrations, and you'll see that you have Open Wake Word, Piper, Whisper right here. So click configure on those. Configure on Piper, and configure on Whisper. Now those integrations have been brought in, and they'll all fall under the Wyoming protocol here. So you can see Open Wake Word, Piper, and Whisper. Now that that's done, you can go back to your voice assistants, and we'll create a new voice assistant called SlowGPT, or demo SlowGPT. We use our ChatGPT conversation agent that we built earlier. And under speech to text, we'll use faster whisper. We'll leave it to English. Under text to speech, we will set it to Piper. And sure, we'll just stick with default Amy Low. Let's see what she sounds like.
Hello, how can I assist?
So you can fiddle with those a little later, but at least we're doing all our text to speech stuff locally. And then we'll do Open Wake Word, and we'll set it to OK Nabu. All right. So now you have a full local pipeline that is, the only cloud part is it's reaching out to ChatGPT via your API key. So click Create. And now, if I go run my demo SlowGPT, you'll see I could say, tell me what time it is.
The current time is 2023-12-2090-44:40.415028-500.
So remember to paste in my prompt. It will solve this issue. But now you are running almost your entire pipeline locally. Okay, so now for the final piece, to create our own local LLM and then replace OpenAI's ChatGPT. And I have a server running here at home. It actually sits on, with the Unraid supervisor, and I'm using LocalAI here. So you can actually see that I have started LocalAI already, which takes forever to start. And I'm running a model called Luna Demo. If you want to learn about LocalAI, you can go to localai.io. It is basically a open source LLM, and you can install all kinds of different models into it. You can go to huggingface.co, and you can download all kinds of different models, and you can load those models into LocalAI. And LocalAI slaps a API on top of it that looks just like ChatGPT's API. So it's a drop-in replacement for ChatGPT. So once you get LocalAI up and running with a model, and by the way, you need the right kind of model. Not all models have OpenAI functions. And remember, you need OpenAI functions in order for the integration in Home Assistant to work. Go into Home Assistant and we'll go to Settings, we'll go to Integrations, we'll go to Extended OpenAI Conversation. We'll create a new service like we did before. We'll call this LocalAI LLM. API key, it doesn't really matter. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me go and grab the IP address and port, and it is not running at a secure URL. Click Submit, and there you go. So now I'm going to go back to my SlowGPT, and I can hit LocalAI LLM now. Say Update. I'm going to go over here, and we'll say, who is Bruce Wayne? Whoops, Wayne.
One eternity later.
All right, there we go. And you can see here in the logs, this is our local LLM that's sending this response. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. And I hope it is as mind-blowing for you as it is for me. I think this is a really amazing breakthrough. The next step is to install this voice assistant into the ceiling. And we'll use the Alfred wake word, and it will also be hitting our own local LLM. And we'll even maybe unplug the home from the internet and start actually controlling the home with our own local AI-powered voice assistant. So the future is here. Super, super cool. Thanks, guys. See you soon.